So here we are, podcast. Here we are, podcast number 4.
4? That's my favourite number. No way.
Yeah, I mean we did look into that, and that's why you were specifically chosen.
Because I have 4 limbs. Weird.
And you have 2 legs.
2 legs.
And 2 arms.
2 arms. That's 4, bro.
So Jace, I've known you for a long time back. I can't remember exactly when.
Several hairs ago.
Yeah.
Mate, we were there. We were down in the trenches.
It was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, easy.
So it's now 2020, just in case anyone's listening to this.
2020, 2 and 2 is 4. Told ya. 4 is my number.
So this is potentially your year.
No, it is, bro.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. So this is the start of very big things. In fact, everyone we've spoken to on this podcast has done very big things.
Oh, did you say goosebumps? Did you get that? You guys get that? Oh, did you get that? Goosebumps.
Oh dear. So let's get straight into it. Some people might not know you.
No, probably most people won't. G'day, I'm Jason. I like 4.
So Jace, you're actually a Kiwi, is that correct?
Yes, still go for the All Blacks, mate. Yeah, most people won't know because I was so 20 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
My career started in television maybe 20 years ago on Channel 9. And then maybe 16 years ago, I headed to the States.
So some of us are old enough to remember, was that Ready, Steady, Cook?
Yeah, but before, exactly, you know what? Yeah, see, you're not even old enough. Before Ready, Steady, Cook, there was a show called Fresh on Channel 9, which is a daytime show called Fresh, Cooking the Women's Weekly. Fresh!
Is that?
Yeah, that was it, bro. And this came about at a time when Jamie Oliver had just hit the scene, and Channel 9 were looking for their next young chef after Jeff Jantz, and I ended up with a show with Lindy Milan.
So are you trying to tell me
Yep.
you could be like Jamie Oliver?
So that Channel 9 were looking for the next Jamie Oliver,
Yeah.
okay, like an Australian version, or someone to hit up the television, who was young. And at the time, I was 26. I was running a 2-hat restaurant in Sydney called Bistro Moncur. So I'd cut my teeth cooking classical French for maybe 4 at this point. Shit, I'd been there since I was 20. So I'd done 6 years of classical French cuisine. I was head chef. And at that particular time, a piece had come out in the paper called Young Gun Celebrities Cook Up a Storm. It was myself, Darren Simpson, who worked at the River Calf with Jamie Oliver. Yep. Another guy, Ashley Hughes, who had also worked at the River Calf with Jamie Oliver. They also had an accent. But how this came about was they just chose me. We, and here I am today. Yep, no one still knows who I am. Hey, but I'm good with that because I'd rather you didn't Google Chef Jason Roberts because there's a lot of weird stuff out there.
Oh, it actually didn't come up that weird. But going back to French cuisine.
Yep.
So you've obviously come over from New Zealand. Whenabouts did you come over to Australia?
Interestingly enough, as a kid, I grew up about 4.5 hours northwest of Brisbane on a dairy farm. And so I actually grew up, most of my life has been in Australia. Born in New Zealand, at the age of 3 moved to Queensland.
So where's that, Rocky?
Inland a little bit further.
Wow.
Yes, okay. Actually funny
Long
story.
Reach? No,
Maryborough.
Okay.
Maryborough.
Yeah, we've looked at supermarkets in Maryborough.
Pram City. Yeah. Kids up there. I mean, there was nothing going on up there. Up in Maryborough. Like kids having kids. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay.
So I, till the age of 13, 14, had a very rural upbringing.
Yep.
I mean, we even had our own BMX track.
So
this life.
So were you cooking?
Oh, I was in balls, testicles and stuff on an open fire. We'd catch our own freshwater fish. We would grow things at the back of the chook pan. Like, I loved cooking. I was always going to be a cook no matter what. True story.
Okay. So that was that fire to want to cook?
It was burning deep inside.
And it was... What, balls? You're cooking balls?
Whoa, I wasn't touching anything, bro. Relax. Come on, man. No, so balls, testicles. So each season, we would denac the young calves. They would get horned. They'd get branded. They'll get dipped. So balls, testicles was just part of growing up. It's funny because I tell it as a story, but it's a true story. They'd eat them on a hot shovel over open coals. They'd put the balls, testicles on there and just cut them, eat them with salt.
So you cooked that caveman like on the coal?
On a shovel. Shovel.
Yeah.
Shovel. You'd love it, Oliver. You would love it. Look at you, like licking his lips and everything. He's going, I know what you're talking about. A little bit chilly. So good. No, actually, it was horrible. But it was sort of like your rite of passage. Like you're with the stockman, the other farmers, and like you're the kid. Like, and maybe actually, do you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the older guys, the farmers, were like just having a good laugh. Watch you meet it.
So
I just went, so good.
So-
I thought I was a chef then.
So did you notice you were the only one eating it?
No, buggers. What have I done? No, mountain oysters. You've never heard of them? But I've eaten them since.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Not my favourite. Not my
I don't
favourite.
know if I've had that many balls in my mouth. I can't.
Wait,
I don't.
JP.
I can't recall too many.
Pretty sure I saw it. That time you come to Sydney. I won't tell anyone.
Oh yeah,
about
the Mardi Gras. Okay, yeah, okay.
Oh,
okay.
now
now it's coming back to
it.
me.
Why are you going all blushy and
I
shiny?
know. It's hot in here, isn't it? So, what age was this?
I did notice your thumbnail was painted blue. It's beautiful. Okay, end of story. Moving on.
So what age was this?
So I was probably 6 and 7, 8, like up until the age of 13, lived on a farm. And then from 13, moved back to New Zealand where we did all my high school.
Yep.
Just family moved around a lot. And then at 17, 18, decided to leave the family. And there was no work opportunities in Auckland at the time. Small town. And ended up in, actually where my real father for the first time, he was living in Bondi.
Yep.
And ended up working in Sydney. And there I started my career at a place called Ravisi's. Went on to Armstrong's, which was a hatted restaurant.
Yep.
Run by Mark Armstrong, another Kiwi. And then from there in 93, 94, I ended up at Bistro Moncur. Bistro Moncur had been opened a year and was being touted as probably one of the best, very upcoming new pub restaurants. Sort of revolutionised pub food. Took the whole gastro pub to a new level. We're making our own sausages, terrines, pâtés, all that sort of stuff. But we're full every day.
So you go as their chef, or
I was an apprentice.
Apprentice there.
I ended up there. I started as just at the end of my second year. So an apprenticeship in cookery is 4 years. Actually, I think it's still 4 years. But very quickly, because I wanted to cook, I knew I was going to be a chef no matter what. So I was that person, didn't drink, didn't do drugs, didn't smoke, didn't do anything. I was so focused. When I wasn't at work, I was reading books. I was working at another restaurant for free. I just wanted to learn. I was a sponge for information, knowledge. And we had such great... and at that time, Damien Pignolet obviously was the executive chef. He's been my mentor for the longest time. But he had other great friends who'd come into the restaurant and I'd get to meet them and I'd want to learn about them. And so very quickly, because I guess my passion and my love for it, very quickly did become I qualified. Then I became the pastry chef. Then not long after that, I was the second chef. And then the head chef was poached by another restaurant. And then before you know it, I was the head chef. And I was 23.
Oh, that's so young.
Running a two-hat restaurant. It's funny because I'll talk to young kids now, 23, 24-year-olds. They still don't know what they bloody want to do.
So being so young,
Yeah.
and so it was French cuisine.
Yep.
So you how do you learn French cuisine yourself?
So you study it, and TAFE prior to the 2000 Olympics was teaching a lot of classical French cuisine. Come 2000, they changed what they were teaching, I think, to try and push new young chefs through, because there was a shortage of young chefs prior to the Olympics.
Yeah.
So they changed it. They got rid of a lot of the French terminology, which probably didn't make sense to a lot of restaurants. Like, why we're teaching them French, we're here in Australia. But the best grounding you could ever have is to learn classical cuisine, because you learn everything. You learn all the mother sauces. You learn how to cook, roast, braise, everything. I mean, I'm so thankful, and such a shame that it's changed, because I think they pushed out a whole lot of dummy chefs after that. People who didn't learn what they should have learned.
So was there a rush before the 2000?
There was a huge shortage.
Sydney Olympics.
Yeah, there was like at one point, I'm pretty sure there was we were short of 100,000 chefs. Like, it was ridiculous.
Wow.
Maybe not that many.
Yeah.
But there was a huge shortage.
And why French?
French, I think French, like you learn anything, you learn to dance. You learn classical ballet. You learn the fundamentals of dance and movement. With cooking, you learn the fundamental. I mean, French cuisine is the mother, as far as I'm concerned, is mother of all cuisines. Now, I've probably upset a few people by saying that.
Yep.
But I think you can take French cuisine and you can adopt Chinese food. You can adopt Italian food, and you by simplifying it, using ingredients from those countries. But French cuisine for me was the heart of cooking.
So with your cuisine for being French, then did you do like a, what is that, cordon bleu school or anything?
Cordon bleu.
Yeah.
So no, I just went to Sydney TAFE.
Yeah.
And so there was a 2.5 years. You would go to TAFE. You'd spend like a 6-week block on doing butchery or baking or whatever. I actually went back maybe a year and a half later after I finished and went and did chocolate work and sugar work. Sugar work didn't make sense because of the humidity in Sydney.
Yeah.
And I just get the shits with it. But chocolate work, there was something really beautiful about working with chocolate and tempering chocolate and working with it, but also what it meant to make something for someone with chocolate too. I love that whole transaction with food. And maybe you get it here at Drake's as well, is when you have something in your store and you see people get from it.
Yeah, totally.
It's such a beautiful giving part of what you do.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it like that, but it's exactly
beautiful.
It is exactly.
You're crying.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can think about good times.
There's an emotion. It's an emotion attached to it.
And there's no doubt that we do talk about every good thing in life technically happens around food and alcohol, usually.
Yeah.
And we provide both of those, and specifically food. And you do see those times where if it's at a barbecue or done a slow cooked meal or, it's just that good interaction.
What you guys provide, and I've known this obviously because we're a relationship for quite some time too, is that you guys have tapped into that looking after your community. All right. So you have, depending on where your stores are, you will have specific ingredients to those communities of people, whether Italian or Greek and things like that. And that's what I always thought was really special. And you support local producers. I thought that was really cool. And with that, I always find there is a nostalgic, an attachment. So I'm having dinner last night with my friends, the Pateo family, and there is dishes on that which are nostalgic to them, but it's something that I get because it's personal. And it makes me think about dinner with my own family. Yeah,
well, one of your quotes is a family that cooks together stays together. Stays together?
Yeah.
So a family that cooks together stays together. I read that and I thought, fuck, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so good. So, even I've got 2 young girls and now we all sit at the table because now they can see over the table and just that small interaction, no phones, so no one's allowed to have any phones at the table. That's a good time to connect, and I'm looking forward to that for ongoing.
You need to embrace that because unfortunately there's not enough of it. And it's something that it makes me really sad when it's certainly working in restaurants. When you see a family, they're all doing this at the table.
Yeah.
They're a modern age pacifier for adults who don't really get on and don't bother talking to each other. Why do we even need to fix this relationship? We've got phones. And for a kid, it's a distraction so they don't have to deal with their parents who aren't getting on. But if they did take the phones away and they did work through their shit and they did engage their kids. And so this thing with kids, teaching kids to cook, I mean, for the longest time, it's a pain in every adult's butt because it's like, who's going to clean up that mess? But embrace that. Because this is their rite of passage. You need to teach them to cook. It's probably more important than teaching them maths, English, science. It's how to fend for them, how to eat well, how to use food as a tool to engage people. It's, for me, the table is this incredible subconscious element of good conversation.
Yeah.
When you're passing things to the table, breaking, sharing. It's in the Bible, bro. Haven't read it, but it's in there. Someone told me.
Well, I mean, the way you look at it is so much deeper. And to talk about a scenario as we were at a cafe, we were at a restaurant the other day, and I'm pretty funny about the phone at a restaurant, or at the table. I don't know why. I'm connected all the time, but I like if I've got these people here, I like to be in the conversation. Hence why I think any group over 8's too many, because you're not
Engage.
all in the same. The boys go to one side, the girls go to one side, and you then end up having boys talking about all the stuff that boys talk, cars, and then the girls talking about all the stuff like whatever they're like cars and like ride. I'm not quite sure, but then you look and there was actually a family. The dad had brought the daughter out, and she must have been 9 or something like that, and the whole time he was on his phone the whole time, and then she then started being on a phone or something. And I was like, fuck, look at that. That's why has it come to this stage where you can't actually interact? Or what point, it's like if a relationship breaks down, what point do you make where I go, fuck it? And that's what I see with people, they give up too easy. They don't realise how much this is draining your...
Sucking your life out of you.
Attention. And I think a big thing moving forward will be the people that are able to story tell will be able to leaps and bounds over the people that can't. And it's just my personal.
As much as we rely on social media for building a business, and it's a way of opportunity for building your brand, social media is anything but social. It's the most antisocial thing you could engage in. Yeah, I think because if you're looking at it for interaction, for likes, for who I am as a person, it then becomes a drug. It's nothing short of an addiction. Yeah. To gambling. Yeah. Or to alcohol, or to drugs. I constantly need that hit. You've probably been in that situation. I finished looking now. Okay, just quickly go back on. Swipe. Facebook. Instagram. Twitter. Let's quickly post something. How do I feel?
Fucking TikTok.
How do I feel relevant? Haven't got on it yet. We should do one.
I've got it. I'm on TikTok.
Mate, let's do it TikTok.
But I don't look at it until at the end of the night, because it is the strongest AI of what you're going to watch next. Like, it's the only social media that I'm going, what's next? I can't put the fucking thing down. It's doing my head in.
Yeah. And to the point, like it just, when you do put it down, you're thinking about it again.
Yeah, which is bizarre, because I don't get that with any other. I don't get it with Facebook. I don't get it with Instagram. But TikTok's so in tuned with what I want to watch. It's almost like it knows. Yeah. Got him. Yeah. Got him.
Hold on. What about most advertising now on social media? Would be Facebook. I could be here talking to you about dog food. Next thing, 100% Facebook ads. Dog food.
Don't get me started on that, because this all came from phones at the table. But I was talking about Platoon, like a war movie, because I've been watching the Netflix Vietnam thing. Yeah. The Ken Burns. He is amazing documentary storyteller.
Oh, it's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a 10-part series, 2 hours each one. Just goes into the whole how Vietnam happened. And I was at a mate's, and I go, have you gone back and watched Platoon? And he's like, no, this is at lunch. And then I got into the office here, and YouTube suggested movies to rent or buy Platoon. No way. That was an hour later. Mate. 1 hour. Yeah. No, that's another story. Let's not go down that track. But anyway, you talk about the family. Yep. I mean, you've come from what you've said. You've obviously had a split family, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So, ins and outs, split family. But food was always the constant thing. Okay, so backwards and forwards between Australia and New Zealand, ended up in Sydney. 2000 was when Channel 9 had come about, Jamie Oliver had come about, ended up with a show. I mean, I sucked. Honestly, I sucked. I had that show for 4 years. I sucked probably for 3 years and 300 and something days of it. But I'll tell you what it did provide for me. It provided a platform for me to learn television when I'm looking directly down the barrel of the camera, and I learned so much about that. And then after that came Ready, Steady, Cook. Now, Ready, Steady, Cook, to be honest, I couldn't stand doing that show. Once you've gone from having your own show, when you call all the shots, you're the chef, to going onto a competition show where you could probably lose. Yeah. I hated it. No, I probably never told anyone that. I hated it. I hated losing. Crushed me. I'm a winner. You're a winner, JP. Look at we're winners.
That was your show, and you could get beaten at any episode.
Any time.
Didn't you rig it?
Actually, I can tell you, this show's not even on air. The very first show I did know what ingredients were in the bag. Worst thing ever, because then you put expectations on what
yourself.
It's horrible. Better when you don't know. But that's the art of a good chef, is knowing what you do with certain cuts of meat, with certain vegetables, how long you got to cook them for. I did enjoy doing that show eventually because of the camaraderie and the chefs that you got to meet. I did, and funny enough, Peter Everett, who was the host of that show, I'd known Peter for 20 years. He'd worked, actually not at that point, maybe at least 14 years. He worked in a restaurant in Manly with me. He was the manager on the floor.
Is that the G'day? Peter Everett?
Is that what?
No, did he have a catchphrase? No.
Up your bum? Oh, I don't know. Pete, sorry, bro. I don't want to keep away your secret. Pete and I have been good friends for the longest time. Oh, no.
G'day. Is that the show that goes, don't worry. It seems like it is.
Yeah, it might be.
Would be able to look up Pete Everett's
G'day.
Yeah, maybe. Something like that. So, going back into family, food was were you always the one cooking for breakfast, lunches, teas at home?
It's funny enough, because prior to actually leaving home, I do remember going through a phase of just loving all things Asian food. So there was, chicken and cashew nuts and stuff like that. And so I know my mum appreciated it. But my real love, my real connection to food, and didn't come out till later, and did I not realise it till later, was the fact that my grandparents were both cooks. They were both chefs at a girls' school in the South Island of New Zealand, Waitaki Girls. And I remember my grandmother at a very early age, I could have been 3 or 4, but holding my hand through the kitchens, and there were all these big burly women in white coats. And when you're the little kid with blue eyes and gorgeous, I was gorgeous, bro. Oh,
yeah, I've seen some old
like
photos.
Aryan, gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Like,
exactly what was going through my mind.
So cute, so cute. Oh, let's have a quick drink.
Yeah, that was going through my mind.
Stop thinking about it. Now you're getting goosebumps. I can see goosebumps over the shirt, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's cold in here now.
Oh, let's have a boss.
Yeah, I don't know,
You sell this here?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, mate,
it's actually quite popular.
That's a flash brew, bro.
Yeah, it's from Japan.
I thought it was from New Zealand because it's flesh. So my memories of that were good times, and I think that time with my grandmother, and she was doting over me. And so I remember that energy in the kitchen. Then was food, and when you're in a kitchen, someone's going to be handing you food. It's like, oh my god, this is so good. I ate a lot of food when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved everything about.
So
food.
your palate was developed young, or were you?
I think yes. I think I was without knowing it. And so going through, and then when I, when I was head chef, I think my understanding of food and the balance of and different nuances and the engagement of flavors was always there. But I didn't drink wine. I didn't drink any alcohol till I was 30. So my understanding of
till when?
30. Didn't drink till I was true story. No drugs. Missed all that. When it was drugs and alcohol, and you're a chef, you're just in that situation constantly. Antisocial hours. You go out at night. You drink. I was the guy out at the gay bar on a Sunday night going, yeah, and everyone's going, what do you got, Roberts? Nothing, I'm just dancing. Oh, God, do you like dancing?
No.
Oh, JP, it's the best.
No,
I used to put a hat on, down like that. I was pretending I was everyone dancing.
Yeah, I don't know if I was dancing that much.
You weren't?
Yeah,
So
I
good.
was. To be honest, that's a lie. I did dance, but mostly where people couldn't see me.
Any stage show,
No stage show. I wasn't dancing on a fucking stage show.
Look, like most people still don't know who the hell I am, and probably never will. But that's
They
okay.
will after this.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, totally.
Interesting enough, I ended up with a
2020.
show in the States, and it was a live show. It was like dinner and a show. I was working with a guy by the name of Jeff Redloff, who was the dance coordinator for Disney Asia Pacific. He taught me to tap dance. So I was doing a tour around all these with a bank, Key Private Bank. This is just prior to the crash in 2008. Man, these guys were paying me a mozza to get up on stage, cook for 200 people.
So where was
dancing.
So where was this? And dancing.
And dancing.
So you obviously have had a lot of shows in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Ready Steady Cook,
So I was doing Ready Steady Cook here.
and then going over.
So then I signed a deal with a company called Amway.
Yep.
Which coincidentally is just down the road.
Yeah,
It's still a little office.
yeah, still there.
And so I was the global ambassador. So I was traveling the world for these guys with all their cookware. So I would do live shows. The biggest show I ever did was for 160,000 people in China. And so that was around over the space of 8 hours.
What? Hang on, in one spot.
Yep, in one spot there's like 500. Like I'm talking pyrotechnics, dancers, drummers, like whole stomp the yard sort of. Oh mate, sorry, clap. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't stop rolling.
But hang on. You've cooked in front of 165,000 people.
Yep. Cook Chinese food in front of Chinese people. I had no idea. Oh, Mr. Roberts. Is that racist?
No.
Oh, good.
You're allowed to put an accent on. That's
they
nothing.
probably. But I was cooking in Korea, Japan.
Shit.
I mean, the places I've cooked, I can't even tell you. I'm so blessed.
So, okay, Amway. So that was his gig to start to get your name overseas.
So they launched a brand called iCook. I was associated to that. I created all their promo videos and stuff like that. Then I turn up in all these different countries. So I ended up in Singapore. Mate, there was a building the size of a real big building. I don't know how big a building is. Big one. Had a drop poster with me in a fry pan. iCook. You have no idea.
We've got to find that.
Mate, that was before, do you know what?
You probably got no photos of that.
Before social media, bro. I look at most of my life going, before social media. I've hung out with some pretty cool people.
Oh,
Before social media.
I'm assuming you have. And some of the shows that you've worked on that we've found, ABC Good Morning America.
So that was the first show, and I'm on there with Diane Sawyer and the other guy. And mate, after that, everything just opened up. Oh, we saw you on Good Morning America, and chance you want to come to do our show. And
So-
the live shows.
The Wayne Brady show.
Wayne Brady, incredible. That guy was from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
One of
the
hilarious show.
One of the funniest, quick-witted. That guy's. So I become a regular on his show. I would have, for a period of time, I did maybe 6 or 7 times.
So what year is this?
So this would be going 2007, 2008.
Okay.
At the same time, I was doing Sharon Osbourne's show as a regular.
Yep. And yeah,
But I can tell you going back then, I was also like, we were all 16 years younger. I'd get my shirt off, do a few push-ups. Man, I was all into it. I loved that. But I mean, I do a few push-ups out here. It just doesn't look the same anymore. I should have done squats for you, bro. I just love that there is this engagement with food. It doesn't matter what show you're doing. You can tie food to anything. I mean, we created a show. Actually, Lexus in the States has a sister company called L Studios, and L Studios created a show called Film to Table. They spent like $1 million on creating 6 half-hour spots for an indie. Think of it like an indie Netflix.
Yeah.
And we filmed 6 or 7 shows called Film to Table. Sorry, that's annoying. 6 or 7 shows, and it was based on Film to Table. And so we did everything from Live, Love, Pray, Eat, Love, Pray, the movie. Like food-related movies. We covered Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction and the way he films and the way he uses food, and he sort of, they'll eat food really slowly, and they'll sweeten the sound of eating. Like the way some of these actors. We did. What else did we do? Chef, and we talked about how food transcends through a movie and what it means to a movie. So we had film directors, we had actors, we had a couple of other chef mates who come on to the show. But they spent a mozza building this incredible content. But what goes to show is that car companies have worked out, you know what, people who drive cars eat food, bro. Crazy. Let's get a chef involved. Yeah. I love it. I like cars.
So that sort of tie-in is exactly what we talk about. Yeah. Like we don't quite have that budget. Yeah.
Bro, what are we doing here? I'm out.
So, other shows, you were on?
E! Entertainment.
Yep.
Yeah, so there was a number of shows I did because that was just a network. And within that, we did... I can't remember.
All of them are live cooking?
Yeah. Oh, no, some of them are pre-taped. I must admit, I do prefer live cooking. You shoot, you're done. It's 5-10 minute spot, you're done. But any of these other shows, you spend a whole day.
Yeah.
I mean, we shot Film to Table.
Yep.
You film a whole day to get like half an hour, and they'll want it from every angle. Depending on their budget, sometimes they'll have 5 or 6 cameras. Other budgets, it's 1 camera.
Yeah.
And they got to shoot from
we
every
got
angle.
2, yeah.
You got to, mate. Look at this. I should put my phone on. There'd be 3.
Your camera got some if you want. I'm all for it. So, being live.
Yep.
Live's a real true measure of someone's talent.
Yep.
Did anything ever go wrong?
No. Like, all that noise. Oh, what am I going to do? I love when shit goes wrong. I don't know if you've worked it out, Jay, because I know you like doing stuff live. I get it.
Yeah.
There is an element of when you can remove yourself. Okay, so food, like I said, food at the table is a subconscious element of good conversation. For me, food has become a subconscious element of fun. I've done shows where I've had a bowl, like glass bowl. I go, hi guys, I knocked it straight off and it smashed live. Everyone laughs. That's all I care about. Laughs. We want that guy back. He knows how to produce himself.
Yeah.
So the shows I've done, so there was a show that I did, Rachel Ray's show in New York. And actually this is funny, because this will come up on Google, nude cooking. Stop
what?
Googling.
You've done nude,
Well, no, I stripped down to my boxes. Jared, put your phone away, bro. You've seen nude anyway. What are you talking about? The whole idea was with this, they got myself on with another guy, Spike Mendelson, and he's another great chef, and we had a competition, and they'd give us a certain amount of ingredients to cook with. To get more ingredients, we had to take off pieces of clothing.
Yeah.
So we both ended up in our boxes. I can't even remember what I cooked, but I had fun doing it. The loser had to walk through If you Google
I'm
retro,
watching it, mate. Don't worry.
You're watching it.
Yeah. It's you're taking now the naked recap. You taking your top off nice and slow as well.
Oh, why'd you touch? Dude, your nipple just got hard.
Yep.
No, seriously.
It's exciting here.
Whoa, dude, that's weird.
Yeah.
I can only see
Oh,
one.
you got chicken. Oh, it's all protein. So this is before the plant-based movement. Anyway, we might show some of that.
Yeah. So interesting enough, I actually lost that competition. But the best part was, I had to walk through Times Square in my boxers, and I walked through Times Square like a champion in my big leather boots and pink boxers. They said that guy, he's scared of nothing.
He's got it.
Mate, I come back and did the show. It's the last cookbook I did, Good Food Fast. They launched it on our Rachel Ray show, so they gave everyone in the audience a copy of my cookbook. They've been so good to me.
So that's
so it's knowing how to deal in situations, and that's why I love live so much, is because I don't take myself so seriously. I'm not that, okay, you're on camera now, oh shit, no, freeze up. But that's what I'm saying. My 4 years at Channel 9, I got 4 years under the radar of learning how to deal with a camera. And I realised when you look down the barrel of the camera, you're looking at your youngest niece, you're looking at your eldest aunt, and you're dealing with those people. You're not looking at the square of a camera.
Yeah.
Or what it is. There are actually real people there. And they want substance. And for me, substance is humour.
Yeah.
I love and enjoy that transition.
Well, it's pretty obvious even this morning.
Whatever.
Well, interestingly enough, you actually...
Where's the coconut water, by the way? I asked for it. It was on my rider.
Yeah, it's on its way. It'll be here in the break. One of the things that you got an award for the best host and best health and lifestyle program.
Oh, what?
Mate, look at those.
Cramp.
Cramp, bro.
Cramp. Coconut water, damn it. Bloody hell.
The coconut water will help.
I
will help
cramped
that.
up, bro.
Yeah, it will
On out
totally-
my bum cheek. Oh. That's what happens when you ride bikes in Adelaide. Oh, I'm cramping.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Get
feel
in
it.
some fucking coconut
Mate,
water,
can you
for
feel it
God's
quickly?
sake.
Just feel it. Oh, it's good. Okay. Oh, you've ever had that cramp? It just gets you. Sorry, back to you.
Hang on. All right.
What
I
are we
get
talking
it.
about? Hey, I do like coconut water. There are a few things I really like. Coconut water is one of them.
I do like coconut water.
Do you stock coconut water here at Drake's? Clearly not. Just tapping away. Take your time, JP. Take your time. We could change that P at the back of you to an R if you want. Yeah.
No, you can't change anything. Right. So moving right along. So that's you don't get that just for being normal.
What was it? What did I get again?
Best. It was the best.
So
host.
that show.
Best host.
Okay, so that was through the PAX network. Interestingly enough, so that was a brand content show. Amway actually put all the money into that show. All right, so that was basically, think of like you guys decided to do a TV show and you had your products in there. So they were seen as subconscious elements. So that, to me, that was the first real show that I saw where I was having to say the name of something. It was just seen.
Yeah.
And so that show aired on the PAX network, and I won. Was like best lifestyle presenter and lifestyle show.
So that sort of advertising is what everyone's trying to do now.
Yeah, yeah.
So not
Seriously.
trying to talk about exactly what it is and trying to just have the product there.
I know exactly what you mean. It's pretty good. Have you tried it? You want to try it? Oh, you have your own.
Normally we talk about the more local products, but occasionally...
Oh, what's local?
No, not those.
Are these local? Can you talk about these ones?
I've never tried that.
Is it any good?
I don't know.
Do you sell it?
I believe it's in the works for someone trying to sell it to us.
Oh, really?
Well, look at the name of it.
Full magic,
Full
bro.
Magic. Oh, fuck.
Whoa. We gone. Oh, cheers. So
It actually sounds pretty good.
So you're not stocking this at the moment. You're looking at it.
Well, yeah, I just took it out of the guy's fridge.
Oh, really? What's the sweetener in it?
It's got to have something. It says
It's not full sugar.
It's got no sugar. It's got 1 gram of sugar. It'll be something bad.
Wait a minute. It's vegan friendly.
Well, that might be its problem.
Gluten free.
Yeah, it doesn't have a number. Stevia.
Yeah.
So stevia,
It's natural.
is it?
Stevia's natural. It's a plant.
And it is?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between NutraSweet,
Yeah.
which I don't know if it's still used anymore.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
And stevia.
They're spelt differently.
Yeah, okay.
That's about all I know, bro.
And one starts with S and one starts with N.
Mate, I'm that kid at school when the teacher said, "Okay, paradox. Put it in a sentence." Today I learned how to spell paradox. I'm that guy.
Can someone look up what fulvic energy boost is?
What? No, Volvic. Well, I think you're putting it on the wrong.
No,
hole, bro.
I'm serious. It says fulvic.
Where?
At
the back.
No, it's
Core.
on the front.
It says fulvic acid.
Yeah, on the front. Look, and down in the middle.
Fulvic. Oh, okay. So fulvic acid helping your mind and body energize and revitalize.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. I tell you, I'm feeling.
You're starting to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I was just hanging with you, bro.
Yeah, I thought that would have that effect.
I tell you what, there's a lot of. It's interesting. We're talking about this a little bit earlier with olive oil, for example. It's incredible. Once upon a time, it was Coca-Cola, it was water, it was washed or dirty potatoes. There was one standard bottle of olive oil. Now, I mean, you could probably get this every day. Competition. How do you stand out? What makes you different?
That's exactly what.
When
all
are we
of
going to
these
stop
companies
trying to push the boundaries and be something different?
You
we can't.
So one of the biggest pushes for the modern day consumer is that they do know a lot more about the product.
Yeah.
Whether they do Google it or search it or
Yeah.
in store, you can see customers do it, and we're
Yeah.
time poor. Like customers come in here, they're generally in a hurry.
Yeah, they've got a shopping list.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
I get
boom.
it, I get
But
it.
you do notice it's on the phone. So I don't think it will end because the new product development that is currently happening in 2020 and is continuing,
Yeah.
you know, snack foods have got 73 new lines coming out, and some of those are totally new categories. And that is all coming because the consumer is wanting more. And that is the only way they're going to get that increased sales moving forward.
I find I'm pretty much that guy who'll shop around the outside of your supermarket. I don't generally go into the inside because I like all the fresh ingredients.
Yep.
Because I don't buy a lot of packaged stuff unless it's like, rice or pearl barley or something like that. But I find I will make a lot of purchases based on knowing their background stories or what they support. So a good example is let's just say the McGrath Foundation, for example, and there's a water product that they're involved in. And so if I see a pink cap versus a blue cap, I know they're involved, I support them, I'm going to buy that. It's the same price.
Yep.
So, and I find there are a lot of, because I like knowing what their philanthropic and their background is. Now, it's not that I've had to go and do a whole lot of research, but I make that because I know what the brand of the non-for-profit is.
Yep.
So a good example, and my relationship obviously with Jared and the guys at Rio Vista is, we come up with a product together, because I do a lot of work with Dementia Australia. I did a ride. So a lot of my work now is based around food and cycling.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so I did a ride from Bondi to Berry, actually no, Bondi to Brighton, so Sydney to Melbourne. And to raise funds and money for that, we come up with a collaborative effort through Rio Vista. We created a bottle called Bespoke. And so there are benefits, obviously, to good olive oil. Come on in. Oh, my God, coconut water. Oh, hi, come on, hug. Hug. Are you okay with personal space? Is it okay? You need a coconut water.
I don't. I'm all good. What's your name? Sue.
Sue, True Blue. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Oh, everyone want a water?
No, he does.
Okay. Want one, bro?
Oh, see? Your life is now complete.
Yeah. Climb a tree, crack a coconut. Thanks, Sue.
That's what the great...
Blue.
See, it's the great part about island life. In fact, it tastes like coconut.
So good.
I bet... I have a bit of an issue with this brand of coconut.
Yeah, me too. Why?
It used to have a number in it.
Oh, they removed the number.
I don't know. I just looks like it's got some new packaging, but
You can't beat a fresh coconut.
no, you can't.
We're
Not-
saying the number is 100% coconut water.
So they've changed it. So
Good.
so good on Zico. So Zico here was, and it was one of the only coconut waters that we had in the case that was.
I feel like their product's better now.
Yeah, well, of course it is, because now it's 100% coconut water, where before it wasn't.
Why were they putting preservatives or something?
Yeah, that's why they've changed this by putting that in there, because it was the only one with a number in it. It had a preservative. It had 202 in it.
Oh, gotcha.
Right, and
Okay.
this is a Coke product. Not that this is any branding, but it really pissed me off actually. Why they were the only one, and they've gone and changed it. So
Good on them.
Good.
I think you have to be aware of
Good
what
on them.
people want and people need.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the new product development. They would have been hearing loud and clear because they get distribution, which makes Coke. So you know, that's why Coke gets a good distribution, is because they're everywhere. Yeah. And that was the product. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I actually mildly impressed. Yeah. Maybe I might try that again, because I went off that because it did have a number in it. Yeah. But anyway.
Cha-ching.
So going on to so we've had a bit of chat. So you actually pretty big news in the US.
Huge, mate.
Yeah, like
massive.
So it'd be fair to say you'd have a bigger crowd in the US than you do here.
Yeah, there's more people. That's why the American market's really cool.
Because they love your sort of personality.
Love Aussies, bro.
Yeah.
You would crush it.
Yeah. And there's who else has gone over there recently? Curtis Stone.
You know, I have the funny thing. Nah, you are right. It's a little bit odd. It's interesting when you've been hitting a market like the States. I've been there since 2004. Curtis hit the American market, right show, right time, and crushed it.
Yeah.
He came in a few years after me. I'm like,
yeah. It's all about time. I mean, it's
timing. I mean,
everything in life is about timing.
So, I mean, I've had several situations where I've been signed to a show, you've shot the pilot, or you're with an agency, there's a merger. Same with book deals. Like, there's a merger, and then everything that you thought was going to happen changed. Like the last book I did, so on the back of it, so I just signed with the cooking channel for a show called Junk Food Flip. Basically, we take American junk food, you flip it, you make it somewhat healthier. I'm cooking with this girl, Nikki Dinky, who's an incredible talent.
Is that a real name?
Nikki Dinky. True story. Not Australian.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what made it so cool. Anyway, my agency, so I was with,
Someone. Yeah, Nikki Dinky reminds me of a mate called
AMG.
Linky Dinky.
Nikki Dinky. AMG, there was an acquisition by William Morris Agency. I was with AMG, had signed the show, shot the first episode. William Morris had taken over. And then, so they have a big pool of chefs who they had to find work for. And so when I had the show pulled out from underneath me, the show went ahead. They put a new talent in there.
Who was the new talent?
Bobby Dean. So Bobby Dean is the son of Paula Dean, who's a big-time Southern chef. An interesting story about her was, you're probably too young to remember, Gordon Elliott. Gordon Elliott was hosted Good Morning Australia with Kerry-Ann Kennelly. I'm talking like 30.
I know, mate. I played golf with Kerry-Ann Kennelly and
really?
won a Pro-Am and played with Troy something. And
Casadale?
I don't know.
Nah, Troy someone.
No, Choi.
Choi.
Asian golf player.
Oh,
Pro. Very good player. And I'm very average. It was amazing.
Really?
And Kerry-Ann Kennelly, that's who was the leader of the group.
Mate,
actually won. You know what we won? We actually won this Pro-Am.
Yeah.
And the prize you won, you got to design your own golf shoes.
No.
Fuck me dead.
Did you call Drakes?
No.
JP.
So they were black with the Drake. I couldn't get the proper Drake yellow, but black with yellow.
You're so good with branding.
And then I had a hula hoop lady engraved on like a Hawaiian hula hoop lady on
Where are they? Do you still play golf?
Yeah, I play golf.
Do you wear those?
And on the other one, I had a $sign.
Hey, look at this. Creating. Look at this.
That's so we got coconut coffee going on.
Mate, don't steal my idea, guys.
You know what? That will probably be good because the coffee is probably quite strong, yeah?
Yeah, look at that.
Shake it up. Put the
Zai Coffee.
Zai Coffee. Maybe you put the lid on.
Bro, you probably shouldn't drink out of mine. A little bit?
Yeah, I'll try it. Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Yeah.
It's good. Mate, put a request in for that. I'll be here the next day. White birds, right? Oh my God.
Oh, fuck, you can't put white in that. I'll drink this.
No.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we've fucking got something there.
Let's do it.
Done. All right, I'll speak to Coke.
Okay.
See what this...
JP here. We're making something big.
Yeah. It's like Zai... Well, we don't even need to call it that, to be honest. We can call it...
Yeah.
Whatever we want.
It's called JPJR. JRP.
Yeah, I think we'd move on
Yeah,
from the
okay,
JP. I think
let's do it.
probably wouldn't be a big selling point.
No, but it might be. Just get it.
JPJR.
Yeah, just call it Get It. Get it.
So one of the things that you've been working on
Mm-hmm.
with you like to eat healthy or
Yep.
clean?
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about food again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, so interestingly enough, 2020 rolled around. Sounds cool. 2 and 2 is 4. Favorite number. We talked about it already. This is the 4th podcast. I think moving into the year, new year, new you. I think I've just carried on from where I was last year too, and just being more conscious. So my transition because there has been a transition from classical French cuisine, because I just don't believe you can eat that much fat, that much when when I started cooking, sausages and terrines, we were using nitrates to cure terrines and sausages, and that was before I knew what nitrates were. So they were a preservative and something you probably should be more aware of. So I like a lot of nitrate-free, foods. I'm aware of nitrate-free bacon and things like that. So it's a preservative. It's what keeps processed meats pink, stops botulism, and it is needed for when people process foods.
Processed foods.
Processed foods like terrines and so bacon uses it. So
Yeah.
this means you keep it for longer, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So getting away from that and then becoming more, and I actually hate the word plant-based. Not a fan. Vegan, I hate it. The only reason I say it is because you're just labeling it. I need to eat the food when I need to eat that food.
Yep.
All
But
right.
you say eating whole foods.
Yeah, just eat more whole foods. And even the way I'd shop around the store, I'll go around the outside first. I'd get all the fresh ingredients first. I probably 80 to 90% plant-based.
Yep.
Outside I eat a lot of fish. Once a month I probably eat red meat.
Once a month.
Once a month if I'm lucky. Yep.
Yeah. Where's chicken fall into it?
Chicken falls in probably maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks.
Okay. So
More fish.
So is that pescatarian?
Predominantly pescatarian. But like I said, don't label it.
Yeah.
As soon as you label something, and I say, people, you then fall into a group of people who eat. It's something I have to be conscious of because I cook food for people. So of course I cook lamb, pig, chicken. I cook it all.
Yeah.
But the way I eat personally and for how I, as far as my exercise and my regimen when it comes to eating and exercising, I eat predominantly plant-based. But I don't want to label it.
So talk about Regimate.
Yep.
What's a week in? I know you're right. You're obviously you're down in Adelaide for the Tour Down Under.
Yep.
The Santos Tour Down Under 2020.
Santos.
No, it's
I actually flew down.
Just another thing we can tag.
Mate, I have nothing going on. I flew down just for this podcast. True. You have
So
no idea.
you're obviously here. You're catching up with some friends that you have some
Yep,
relationships with, and obviously there's a lot of cycling. You do a hell of a lot of cycling.
Yep,
That's probably
yep.
what caught my attention with how much you're doing.
Yep.
And some of the things that you're doing is your Bondi to Berry, which is
Bondi to Berry,
ride to remember.
Ride to Remember, that's a ride for Dementia Australia.
Yep.
The Tour to Cure, I've been doing, that's a ride for cancer. I was the Leukemia Foundation ambassador, oh my God, last year. I do a ride for mental health, and actually being down here and doing this event tomorrow night with Black Sheep and Rio Vista, we have these guys created a platform called the Man Ride, and it wasn't just about men riding, but it was being aware of mental health in young men. And so we did a ride from Wales, Holyhead in Wales down to London. It was 1,000 k's over 5 days. So when I go out riding, I actually like a long ride, and for me, it's about managing your personal mental health. For me, there's this thing about being on a bike, and when you're a kid, it's your first point of independence when you learn to ride a bike. Mum or dad's teaching, or you've picked it up yourself, sort of thing. But there is this incredible amount of freedom you get from getting on a bike. Not just, hey, look, no training wheels, but it's that where your parents let you go. I mean, you could fall off. It's the first time you could hurt yourself too. So for many, I think as a kid and you go to school and you ride bikes and then work gets in the way and then marriage and then families, there is this period of time when you don't ride bikes if you're not aware of it. But to get back on, there's an interesting thing is because my relationship with my dad flourished through bikes. So I met him when I was 18 and then, he lived in Bondi. I went off to do my own thing. We didn't have the greatest connection. But then maybe at the age of, say, 30, I'm 46 now, 30, maybe 35, 36, he actually probably even earlier than that. So probably 15 years ago, he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And he was a smoker. He didn't eat well, ate lollies, drank, like just worst lifestyle. Probably was about 115 kilos. He's a couple of inches shorter than me, just very heavy. Diagnosed, and he was like, I'm not going to have diabetes. I'm not going to have diabetes type 2. The interesting thing is, and I thought about this only recently, my grandmother had diabetes. I think she was insulin dependent. She actually ended up with, she got gangrene in her toe. She had to have a leg amputated, and then she died of cancer literally, not long after that. So I think that he got it, and he was like, I'm not going to let this take control of me. My dad's, it's funny like that. So he started running, ran his knees out. Like he was running 15 Ks every day, ran his knees out. And this is at the age of maybe 50, 53, 54. Ran his knees out, got into cycling. Cut a long story short, got me on a bike. I couldn't stand it. After the first 3 Ks, I'm like, how far are we riding this bloody thing? Managed to stick with it, and then I was hooked after a couple of weeks. But the interesting thing was, and this is when I really learned about riding bikes, was for a couple of weeks, I was sitting on his tail, barely sitting on his tail, because he was fast, he was strong, my dad's strong on the bike. And riding me around this loop, it's like a 30K loop round through Sydney, down into Botany Bay and back. But the first time, 2 weeks later, the first time I actually found like I had some strength and I had some legs, I just took off. And he catches up to me, he goes, you need to get off your bike. What did I do wrong? He goes, I've dragged your ass around here for the last 2 weeks, and the first time you get a little bit of wind, you just take off. I didn't realise he was doing 25% more than I was anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting in his draft. So that's when I really started to understand that there is the dynamics of what cycling is and how you work together. So jump forward now to how I believe in cycling. There is this community of people, whether it be through Dementia Australia or the Tour de Cure or the Men's Health through Black Sheep, is there an opportunity to tell stories and share your stories with someone without having to look them directly in the eye. It's like talking to your kids while they're sitting in the passenger seat. You can offload and share so much information without having to look at them directly, but you also have 100% of their time. There's no phones. There's no technology in front of them. It's you. Your focus is the road, but your ability to impart knowledge and take it on board is pretty incredible. I mean, I've had probably the most incredible stories told to me, and I've been able to offload and share with people on a bike.
So there's a lot of talking going on.
So much talking.
Really?
But it's good. Yes.
So
yes.
People haven't got headphones in?
Yeah, some people do. I mean, I do a lot of solo riding, and you probably shouldn't. I mean, riding's pretty dangerous anyway. Certainly in Sydney, it's dangerous. But there are some rides I go, and the music's good because I sort of push myself. I mean, as far as cycling, I'm a big guy. I'm 90 kilos. And so to get up a hill, it takes a little bit more for me, but I'm strong but I'd be more of a sprinter.
So not long distance.
No,
but you got a big upper body for a cyclist.
Why did you wink then? Did you keep that? He winked.
Yeah.
There is I don't know what it is, but there is also this connection between chefs and ego, and being on a bike as well. So one of the rides I do is called Chef Cycle, something that I sort of had founded maybe 7-8 years ago. And to date, we raised over 9 million for hungry kids in the States, creating school breakfast programs, creating summer school programs. The statistic currently in the States is 1 in 5 kids one in 5 kids turns up to school without having breakfast, whether it be for whatever reason.
I believe the number's pretty high.
It's same here.
Yeah,
but particularly in South Australia.
Did you just make that up?
No, because I was involved in a group called Opal, Obesity Prevention Lifestyle, and I did a tour down here. And they were creating these inserts and these placards for schools, and it could be water, the original cool drink, and things like that, getting kids to eat breakfast. But there were a high number of kids who were turning up to school without breakfast and having a good understanding of, or their parents having an understanding of good nutrition. So that flow through from parents not teaching and giving kids time in the kitchen, because not only they're not preparing their own foods or not being aware of it, they're just not getting it. Just with the average income, and you could be a lot of single parents, not enough money to go around anyway, so the quality of food's not that great. Do I pay the electricity bill, or do I pay the water bill? Yeah. So people are juggling, how do I pay? So it's funny that, well, it's not funny, but I went from working with Opal here up into the States, and had a need and a want to help feed people who couldn't be fed. So, I've done everything from, advocating on Capitol Hill for New York and New Jersey. And this is part of No Kid Hungry. Chef Cycle is now almost like a sister non-for-profit where we raise money for No Kid Hungry. And for every dollar that we raise, we can connect a kid to 10 meals because it's subsidized.
In America?
In the States, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great thing because the number was, I didn't know if it was the same, but I've read about that. Kids are rocking up without eating breakfast.
So imagine, and it's different as an adult because we talk about intermittent fasting and stuff like that.
Well,
but as a kid,
I was going to say, is it different for kids though, where as an adult you can make a decision, or someone that actually makes that conscious decision that I'm going to do some intermittent fasting, like might miss breakfast or whatever, but. I think as a child with the so much development, I'm assuming, I'm no health expert, but I'm assuming that is better for their health to make sure they have something substantial.
So food and breakfast, break the fast, that first meal of the day, concentration, energy levels.
Hang on, break the fast. Is that what breakfast means?
Of course.
Wait
a minute. Wait, you didn't know that? I just taught you something.
Stop it.
Break fast.
Are you serious?
Breakfast.
Fuck.
Isn't that weird when you get something like that and you...
Why is everyone fucking looking at me like that? You didn't know that. No. Thank
you heard
God,
it here.
there's one.
Break fast.
Yeah, okay. No shit.
Oh my God, the new coconut coffee water. Break fast.
I cannot believe this
Break
shit.
faster. You didn't know that. No, break the fast.
No, I get it now.
So, but don't forget that's what intermittent fasting is. You haven't eaten so it doesn't matter what time you eat that meal, you're still breaking the fast.
Okay.
So it's the first thing that you put into your system. So you're looking for micronutrients and all that sort of stuff. So you need good sources of energy, good sources of food, good sources of whole food. So for a kid to not have that source of breaking the fast in the morning, you turn up to school on an empty stomach. What do you think you're thinking about the whole day?
Food.
Your stomach.
Yeah.
The teacher's talking. I'm not hearing the teacher. I'm hungry. You're looking out the window. You're wondering about when your next meal is. So it's torture for a kid to not have a meal in their stomach or to know where the next meal is coming from. So this program is about... the other thing that comes with that too is that, let's just say there's a percentage of kids, say 40% of the kids need the school breakfast because they don't have it. Then there is a stigma attached to, the poor kid's lining up for breakfast, let's pick on him. So now we've implemented all kids, all the time, get breakfast at school. So there is no poking.
So I recently watched a doco talking about different schools around the world.
Yep.
I think it was the column. It was Michael Moore.
Yeah.
Who do we invade next?
Yep.
And he was taking it for a viewpoint of America used to be a great schooling nation, and now I think they're 29th in the world. Someone might want to follow that up for me. And then he's gone over to France and Europe and Sweden, where they're number 1 and number 3 in the world, and they sit down and have a 3-course meal for lunch.
Yep.
They do no homework, and they spoke to the principal, and as a lady, and they said, what do you think about, surely kids got to do homework to excel. And it's like, no. This is when they need to interact with their family, be at home, play with their friends.
Mindful connections.
And it's crucial. And they talk about the lunch, and they showed what they had for lunch. So they had a serving of cheese, and then they had multiple meals. So they had vegetarian, they had fish. So they literally had the whole lot. But they sat everyone together, and I watched that, and I thought, why the hell are we banging on about the same schooling system where we're making kids do hours and hours of homework?
Because we're not evolving.
It bothers me that my kids are potentially, they're just starting school, but they're potentially going to be doing this, and I'm an anti-school system. I think, it's great for learning some discipline. And
you need to be a voice for that, for your belief in that, because there are a lot of other people who believe in the same thing. There is, I think, see, for me, school was just a big social foray. I loved it. I couldn't tell you one particular mate. I just knew everyone. I just got around the circles. But for me, school is about socializing. I think within schools, the thing that was most important to me were boundaries and turning up to school on time, being aware of your presentation, all that sort of thing. I mean, I was sort of a B grade, maybe C+ student if I was lucky. I was average to fair, but I always knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I knew how to pick those subjects, and I excelled at the ones I wanted to be good at. I think, like food, there's always going to be an evolution, and I can't say enough because I don't know enough, but I think I get the feeling the school system's not evolving enough, and we do need to take a serious look at the way we teach our kids. And I think personal hygiene, health, what we eat is probably more important than some of the other stuff they're teaching. I think for you to know how to feed yourself, I'm not talking about going out and hunting and gathering things like that. We're sort of beyond that. You just go down to Drake's. But I think it's important. Yeah, keep that one. Keep that one. Have a drink. I think it's important that we've evolved to the point where we're still giving our kids those tools. Cooking is an important. I mean, they don't need to cook a gourmet dinner, but they need to know what foods are right. They need to know what. There's something that I really appreciated. Someone teaching me, and it was this: what Mother Nature has given us. Have you take a cross section of a carrot, right?
Yep.
It looks like the iris of an eye.
Yep.
We know that carrot's a source of beta carotene, that's eye food. You take a walnut, it's a source of omega fatty acids, that's brain food. Walnut looks like a brain. Green leafy vegetables looks like arteries and veins. It's a source of iron. Oh my God, that's blood food. Tomato, source of lycopene. You cut a cross section of tomato, looks like the two auricles and the two ventricles of a heart. Oh my God, that's heart food. Crazy, right? When you can teach kids at that level that Mother Nature has planted something there that is specific to us as a source of fuel and for nurturing our bodies, you're giving them the world. They can do anything after they know that.
And it's as simple as that.
Yeah. It is. It is. The brain garden.
But we've evolved, like I'm looking how I was brought up to how I'm bringing my kids up, and I'm assuming I'm not alone. Whereas, there's photos of me walking around a 1 litre glass bottle of Coke when I was like 8 or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I would never give my kids that, not even as a maybe food.
No.
So I think there is a real push from what we can see in, you call it plant-based or whole foods. Oh, you don't call it plant, but whole foods where we're starting to see the manufacturers making changes. And the problem with some of the kids rocking up having breakfast is that breakfast could be full of sugar, whether it be Cocoa Pops or something like that, where you can see that they're changing the way. In Australia, we've got the 5-star health food rating, and it's come under a little bit of fire in the past by giving, I think it gave Milo a 4.5 star rating. Everyone loves Milo, but they've changed the rating now, and it's now being implemented where it's a true rating of what quality of that food is in the morning. And I can see that's happening across the supermarket in many levels, where we're trying to get a lot more beneficial, a lot less numbers, a lot less processed crap into the food, because it's hard to actually wake up every morning and have like a nice egg, some cereal, some muesli, or so that those times are changing, and we can see that in what's going on with what we're doing in regards to what Drake's are doing as a supermarket outlet. We want people to have a great lifestyle, and from that, it's good to have some naughty food every now and then, because everyone I love ribs, or there's something there that you can go to and just you really like wings, to be honest.
But the problem is though, JP, is that our parents didn't have for us when we were kids, our parents didn't have the education that we have. I think we're a little bit more evolved than what our parents were as far as wanting to know information and what our food is. We're seeing the effects of what poor diet is on our parents and our parents' age bracket too. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, osteoporosis, dementia, all that sort of stuff, whether we believe it's food related or not. I believe it is. And poor choices. So we're trying to make better choices for our own kids. And depending on your age bracket and where you're at, we're starting to see the benefits of changing diet and what some of those foods do for us. I have to look at some of these big brands, whether it's Coca-Cola or Sanitarium or whoever it is. There's one big pie, all right, and there's 27 million people in Australia. Everyone's trying to have a crack. How do we infiltrate a market? How do we make our money? And each year that goes by, margins get tighter. They've got to make more money. They change recipes. They do all that stuff. They go from using sugar to high fructose corn syrup and stuff like that. They're trying to just make more money. But that pie doesn't change. It's still the same amount of people. How do we make money out of these people? How do we engage them? How do we make more commercials to make up? Look, oh my God, if I drink Coca-Cola, I'm going to have sexy people around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about branding. And we're stuck in it. Here we are, 4 different brands in front of us.
Yeah.
And we're associated brands because of social media and marketing. It's changed a lot over the years where people are spending 5 to 10,000 on PR and marketing. Here's the product, here's the TV show. Now we're all personal brand. We can all do it through our social media. We can all engage influencers if that's even a thing. And engage in product, but everyone is looking for that piece of the pie, and they will attack your kids.
Yeah, but there's no doubt about that.
Because it's quick, easy, full of sugar, and they love it.
100% agree. You do a lot of kids cooking.
Yep.
It's a big driver for you.
Yep.
And seeing the difference that makes.
The thing that I love about cooking with kids, and it's funny because I was with Jared's kids last night too, is just their engagement is so much different to adults. There's no expectation, and for them, food is fun. Can I be involved? You watch the amount of times they'll ask, "Oh, can I do something? Can I help?" And I remember being young and hearing a lot of no's, like I just need to get this done. But sometimes for me, it's my domain. I love the kitchen. I love my own space. But when I'm cooking with kids, I'm in a different world. It's like absolutely. I just want to see that kid evolve. I just love their energy around it and being involved and how they feel around food too. So they're important tools to give off, and I think that's their birthright, is to be given as much information about things that are good for them.
So what age do you think that is?
There's no any age. I Franca last night. How old's Franca? 14 months, and I put a piece of lettuce with a little bit of dressing on it in front of him. And I think you make it fun by the way you give it to them or whatever. And he's holding, and I mean, he had a lamb chop in one hand, a piece of lettuce. At one point, I saw him eat the lettuce, and I'm like, job done. Job done. But I love, and it's the way, the association that you make with kids. So there were 6 of the kids, or 5 of the kids, around the table, and I had made a salad, mock-up salad, and put it. It was just oak lettuce and radicchio. The kids aren't going to eat the radicchio; it's bitter. But putting it there, and I think all but Elise ate the lettuce. She was gagging on it. I mean, I hated mushrooms when I was a kid, but she didn't want to eat it. But the other kids ate it. You make it fun. You don't go on about it, and it's not force feeding. It's like, there's a reason why you eat these things, and it's more colourful than some of the processed foods on any plate. So no, you just make it fun. I just love that, the way they look at you without expectation.
Yeah, the colour in the food.
It's so important.
So we had James on here the last podcast, and he was fascinated to listen to his way and talking about food. He talked about the colour. You know, the food needs to be different colours to get different things from the food.
# eat the rainbow.
Yeah, I think he did mention actually eat the rainbow. Is that you can't? Can you eat the rainbow in one session, or do you particularly work your way through the rainbow?
You can be aware of it. I mean, it's funny. You look on social media and people who post just plates of food, and you look at how many colours are on it. I mean, I love when I have a bowl of food. I mean, I can see a little bit of everything. It's something to be conscious of. If you start thinking of food as colours versus what they are. Have I eaten red this week? Have I eaten orange this week? I think it's important. And I mean, the reason I love spring is because everything's available. You know, beets and artichokes and asparagus and peas and fennel and all those food. And where I eat them raw or cooked. I mean, I'm all about texture. Yeah. But when you look at that many different colours, to me, it's got to be good. And look, like you, I'm not a nutritionist. But, you know, when you start hearing about the gut biome and eating for good gut health, and I have this vision that inside your gut's just one big rainbow, and it just wants to eat more colourful food. And so we need to appease that. You've got a rainbow gut, don't you? Honestly.
That's the first time. That's exactly what I saw. It's like that. So that's fair. My gut was a rainbow. I was like, oh yeah.
So hold on, but you know the big thing, this incredible connection that I have now to food. You ever seen the movie Avatar?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the whole circle of life and the tree and everyone's connected. That's how I see food. There is this connection through food and people. There's a circle of life where things grow, and then it's picked, and then it's eaten, and then it's passed, or the leaves from that plant and then go back into the soil, and it creates more nutrition for the soil. I see food and people and the land, and probably more so with this fire. We'll see plants destroyed, but then comes the first rain, and you see sprouts.
Yeah, and that's
life. That's the circle of life. That's our incredible connection to it. And I don't think we could ignore that. So food for me is that too.
So that's, to put a bit of context to that, obviously Australia's had the worst fires that we've ever had with, I think the last figure I saw was 11 million hectares that have been actually burnt.
Yeah.
And in that process, you what you just said, we've just started to get some rain.
Yeah.
After having these horrific fires,
Yeah.
and we had some stats on them, which is just devastating. But I guess the world has happened in the past before.
It's a cleanse.
Yeah. So when you're starting to see what you're talking about, that's exactly already you're starting to see photos come about of things sprouting where it was an unusual, where it's totally black or burnt out.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all evolution.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the food, and we talk about once upon a time, if you go back to cave people days, I know you're like, say caveman, and then that goes on to whole foods.
Yep.
And that would be fasting.
Yep.
Because sometimes you're eating, sometimes you're
Hunting,
not.
gathering, it's not there all the time.
Yeah. So
there's no drakes down the road.
Yeah. Well,
Mate, imagine if you were around then. Oh, you would have crushed it.
AD.
You would have crushed it.
I'd be killing it if I was the only one around. So then you go into an era of marketing and performance, and Coca-Cola had cocaine in it, and hence why it was highly addictive, and it made you feel really good, and so they had to slowly take that out. But then they get into the marketing side, and then you start to get fast food and fresh fast food pace, and you get to where we are now, which is 2020, which has seen a massive evolution of we've tried all that. Oh, hang on, look at all the generation there. Not all, but a heap of them are now obese. They got diabetes. They've got things that are wrong with their health, which you wouldn't have known at the time, but you do now. And you go to more Asian cultured countries, and I don't even think they talk about diabetes there.
In some countries, because you find that most countries, Asian included, adopt an American lifestyle. We see the movies, we see the sodas, the sugary sodas, we see the fast food, we see convenience, we see immediate drive-throughs and things like that. So even interesting enough, like some of the bigger shows that I've done throughout the Asian communities, and particularly China and Japan. So the reason I was able to cook and be accepted cooking Chinese food in China, even though I had no background in Chinese food, is there is a demographic or an age bracket that hasn't been handed down the tools of cooking. And so going out to a fast food joint made sense. So for them to see food cooked, it was like, oh, I'm learning something. They should have already known this. This should have been timely traditions that have been handed down, but they haven't been handed down. So a lot of American traditions are handed out around the world because it's still seen the leader of the free world.
Yeah. So that really just fucking made
Blows. Blows.
So if you're talking about Whole Foods,
Yep.
And it seems quite simple.
Yep.
I think Whole Foods are very simple to purchase in fresh food department.
Yep.
A lot more challenging when it comes to purchasing products off the shelf, whether it's beans or even olive oils, for instance, where there is a lot of product added to it, preservatives specifically.
Yep.
When you said nitrates early on, if you add preservatives to everything, then I guess that could be the cause for the cancer and everything that we have going on. Yep. Whereas once upon a time, you go back 100 years, they wouldn't have even talked about.
See, I think
it's less than that actually.
But even that, with whether we're talking about nitrates or preservatives in general, I think our body's a pretty wonderful thing. It has all these organs. They filter and they pass, but we bombard it with the same shit day in, day out. We're creatures of habit. We eat the same stuff. Very rarely, but I think we're now in a phase where we are becoming more conscious, and the information is out there, and so to cut back on some of these foods, some of the producers who are making things like this for example, and they're taking out the numbers, because they see that there is a community of people who are more likely to look at the back of a package now, versus Whole Foods. I just think we've become a little bit more conscious. But there is still a wide demographic, and I see this a lot in the Midwest. We see people in wheelchairs and oxygen, morbidly obese. But that education is seen and is accepted in the bigger cities. But as you go out in the rural communities, where there's still, the average income's still pretty low, it's the lower income that they stick with packets of white bread, and they deal with basic food. They don't see the benefit yet, or don't have the education on a wide variety of colours.
Yeah.
Or they don't have access. There's food deserts. They don't have access to good food.
And it's so true. And from what we've seen, we're seeing that trend going back to that.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how that comes
Full circle. Huh?
Yeah, full circle, because we can technically see, if we're looking into our numbers, we can see that there is a decline in red meat protein.
Yep.
Some of that's got to do with price.
Yep.
But you can see that, and we've noticed our fruit and veg is picking up.
Yep.
So a very simple Drake's overall,
Yep.
we're noticing that right now.
Yep.
We're hearing it a lot.
Yep.
Unfortunately, some of the minority groups, or fortunately,
Yeah.
they let you know
Straight away.
and that comes back to a bit of a keyboard warrior scenario that we have. So I think moving forward.
Yep.
So if you could give me your top 5,
Even wrote it down.
top 5.
Yep.
If you could give me your top 5 go-to foods,
Yep.
what would they be?
Ginger.
Oh, I love ginger.
Top of the board for me. Ginger for everything. Love it. Ginger juice, so strong. I just feel like it's going to knock out anything. There's something about drinking straight juice that burns your throat, and it's like, that's got to be good. Love it. Love it on everything. I'm that person when I buy ginger, I don't just buy a couple of knobs. I buy like a kilo of it. If I'm doing a steamed fish dish, there's at least 300 or 400 grams of ginger, and there's more ginger than you can imagine. I love ginger. To tell you like ginger? Love ginger. Ginger in the coconut water, bro.
Well, that's I'm surprised they're not doing
The ginger. So ginger, did you get that?
Yeah, got that.
Beetroot. Beetroot just feels right. It's dirty. Love it. My mum grows it in the garden, so it's got to be good. Love it. Cyclists do a lot of it, like endurance athletes, because apparently it replaces nitrogen with oxygen. Don't quote me on that, but there are benefits
Okay.
to beetroot. And do you ever remember the first time you had a lot of beetroot and you went, oh shit, there's something wrong with me? I pooed red.
You can even piss it too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But with beetroot, so the thing I love about beetroot, it's not just the bulbs that you eat. Eat the stems, eat the leaves. Braise the stems and the leaves. Good olive oil. Salt. A little bit of water. So good. It's like shards, like spinach, like silver beet. Same deal. Beetroot.
All right, that's 2.
Beetroot.
They're 2 of my favourites.
Okay.
And I used to make my own beetroot dip.
No.
Yeah.
Third one. Oh, here we go. You don't have to show the brand. We're not about that right now. Good olive oil, mate. Something high in... Well, who's that guy on a bike with bespoke olive oil by Rio Vista?
Can you see that? Can you see that,
So
Ollie?
this actually was when I was telling you about doing the co-branded thing for Dementia Australia.
Since when did you put on weight?
No, I'm the white bit. That's just the colour of the sun behind me. The skinny... You thought the orange bit was my belly, like a two-tone lycra suit.
It is a cool label. So this is bespoke. So bespoke.
Bespoke's people for Dementia Australia. So this was the idea of doing this was like, I needed to raise money for Dementia Australia because I just believe that we need more funds, we need more research, and things are starting to come out now about dementia. Largest killer of women in this country, and I think the second largest killer of over total of Australians. They're seeing a lot of early onset dementia. It is one of the most horrific diseases you'll see people go through.
Yeah, my neighbour across the road, his wife, she's now in a home, and she just sit and look at you. I'd have the same conversation with her, and he came out and goes, she doesn't remember you at all, and I'm like, I'm talking to her every day.
Imagine being that person's child.
Oh, mate,
don't know who you are.
And the husband, so he's down there every day with her. It's tragic, and I get dementia sometimes on a Saturday night.
You know, I used to think there are certain things I would forget. It's crazy. It is. I mean, I had an ex-girlfriend who said, I hope I get dementia for all the shit that I've been through. And I used to think that was funny. But honestly, when you lose your ability to go to the toilet to anything. Yeah. Okay, so I'll give you an example. A friend of mine posted something. He saw this guy up in Sydney, in Bonner Junction, basically taking a piss in a pot plant in a Westfield. And he thought, oh my God, look at this grog. He's probably drunk. He's taking a picture. My first thought was, that poor guy, lost, confused, don't know where he is, has dementia. It turns into something totally different. When you understand what dementia does to people, heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
So through a good friendship and a need to want to do something, we created this bespoke blend for Bondi to Berry. We raised some good money and we strengthened our relationship. But there is a bit, so actually going back to things that you should have, good olive oil. So I use a lot of oil when I cook, and I probably use 10 times more than any other person. So if I'm cooking a risotto.
So can you cook an olive oil?
Yep.
Like, can you, like, someone said that you can't, if you cook olive, like if you had it for deep frying.
Yep.
People are saying you sit there and you can't use olive oil.
You have to take the lid off.
You can't use. Is that true? Like, you should use another oil because
yes.
Olive oil is good for dressing salads.
Olive oil is high in antioxidants and polyphenols, right? Which are now being seen as deterrents against type 2 diabetes. They see there is a link to reducing the effects or early onset dementia. So good luck, mate. Oh, what are we doing?
There's some in the office.
No, we'll get back to olive oil.
Yeah.
We didn't eat our bloody Wheat Bix. Wow, you've gone red, and it wasn't just your hair, young fella. So there are benefits to good olive oil. So yes, if you're cooking and you're deep frying, you don't use your extra virgin olive oil. Using more like so if you're deep frying, I would be using like a pomace or a vegetable oil.
Hemp?
Well, I mean, hemp oil is pretty expensive.
Oh.
I'm
using hemp oil at the moment, but just
for what?
Cooking.
Yeah, but the whole idea is...
I did some eggplant last night.
Okay, but don't forget, if there's any oil that has... Yay, bingo. Any oil that has any flavour in it, chances are you'll affect flavour. And if it's high... Like, what is the name of the oil that you're producing at the moment in time, the polyphenols that your dad was talking about? Barnea. This thing is so grassy, so strong. I guarantee you're going to see a little bit more of it on the market because people see the benefits and the health benefits. And JP, I know you're exactly the same. You will forgo the flavour and taste of something if you know it's good for you. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to give you better clarity, more energy. That's where we're at, and that's how I feel about food. And that's why olive oil is probably in my top 5 because there are benefits to it. I'm not going to fry in this. I will cook in it,
yes,
but I'm not going to bring the oil over, say, 80 to 90 degrees.
Ah.
I'm not going to go, I will drizzle it over whole fish, whole chickens if I'm going to roast it. If I'm going to pull it out of the oven, I'm going to stick another half cup of olive oil on it because then what happens is the juice comes out of the chicken or the fish. It mixes with the olive oil. That gives me my flavour.
Yep.
That's my sauce. This has got the body and it's a flavour character. The thing about olive oil now too is that there are different flavour profiles depending on the oil. Now, so these guys, and another reason for being down here is they lost half of their manzanilla crop on Mount Torrens, so they were affected by the fires too. So the whole idea is to come and give a little bit of social media push, make sure that you're supporting locals who've been affected by the fires, because that's how we can really help people.
Are we drinking it?
Yeah, drink it.
It's nice and yellow. It actually looks like my urine after some Barocca.
Wait a minute. Nah, different flavour, bro. Did I just say that? But when you start...
Well, it's very strong. Actually, I don't reckon I've...
Unless you've been to
unless
you've been to an olive oil tasting and you've tried different olive oils. So this one's got a super grassy, for me, super grassy finish.
Yep.
But once you start to understand, it's like drinking beer, it's like drinking coffee, and you understand what it really is and the benefits of it. For me, that's super beneficial. Flavor profile changes when you start adding heat, when you add other ingredients to it. Olive oil is just something I use a lot of. Okay, great for dressing sauces. I'm more likely to use olive oil than I would be to use a chicken stock or a beef stock anymore.
Okay.
For the same reason, the piece of, let's say, protein that I'm cooking, it throws its own juice mixed with olive oil and generally seasoning, spices, fresh herbs.
Nice. That's number 3.
Salt. 100%. I believe there are
really?
I believe there are more properties to salt than you could ever imagine. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think
like Himalayan or Murray Bridge Downs or
so for a long time. So iodized salt was a big thing, which I'm not really into because people were because of goiter and iodine, whatever. I love for me salt is the only real preservative that we need. It's flavor, it's texture. I love the guy. Murray River salt. Love it. I love Olsen salt. Do you guys do Olsen's here as well? The big salt crystals.
Yeah. We do Murray as well.
Yeah, Himalayan salt. So I sometimes will make
Himalayan.
my own natural, electrolytes, and I'll use Himalayan salt. I'll use a little bit of maple syrup and just water. Like for cycling, I love getting into that whole make your own sports nutrition. So cool. But salt's one of them for replacement for energy, exercise.
So people say, oh, it's salt, too much salt in food.
Well,
is that
preservative? I believe there's too much preservative.
Okay.
Salt is when you have something it's salty, you know it's salty.
Yeah, you can taste it.
You also know a food when it doesn't have salt.
Yeah,
too.
correct.
And I think there is the right balance. So salt's a big part of it.
So how many is that? 4. One more.
4. I was going to say salmon here, particularly Ora King salmon, because I work with those guys. But no, salmon is one of them. But that would be number 6. Number 5 is lemon.
Wow,
Lemon.
I use all of these.
Lemon everything.
Everything.
Lemon over lime too. Lemon has the ability to help, I believe, neutralize blood sugars. So in the morning, warm tea, warm water, lemon.
Yeah.
Love it. Lemon on everything. Lemon on all the raw vegetables. Finely shredded vegetables. Lemon juice and salt.
My wife got me into lemon on garlic bread.
Come on.
It's
lemon garlic bread.
Once you go lemon on garlic bread, you don't go back.
You never go back.
Yeah,
Ever.
it's there. So that is a key one. I've been getting into apple cider.
Yeah, so Bragg's. So for the same reason, helps neutralize blood sugars.
Yeah, in the morning, I wake up and I put that with water,
Yep.
and that'll be my start. And I don't know why, but I feel it does something.
Yeah. So I believe that, hear me wrong, but I think Italians used to be good at this, and maybe still do, but balsamic was seen as health-giving, balsamic vinegar, but obviously particularly from Modena. Is that Modena?
Modena?
Modena. But balsamic, real balsamic, a teaspoon of balsamic in the morning was seen as health-giving. I think it neutralizes blood sugars.
Okay, I agree.
Regulating.
So they're your top 5.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love beetroots and parsnips and fresh tomatoes and basil, but my top 5 always on my shelves: good olive oil, lemon, salt, and that other one.
So if you salmon, if you're in a hurry,
Yep.
and you're time poor,
Yep.
What's your go-to meal?
Shaved raw vegetables, lemon, salt, canned tuna, the one with the chili in it.
Okay, shaved raw vegetables.
Yeah.
Like-
So mandolin. So I have a few kitchen gadgets that I've always got to have. Vegetable peeler, mandolin. So mandolin's up. Watch your fingers one.
Yeah.
That one. Good knife. What else? Yeah, there's probably a couple.
So
of
to being a chef,
Yep.
what are your 3 favorite gadgets in the kitchen?
Mandolin for sure.
Yeah.
No. Mandolin, like the Japanese slicer.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Watch your. That thing's bloody sharp.
Yeah.
But so shaving.
Yeah.
Good knife.
Yeah, I'm a knife fan.
I like the Santoku East meets West.
Okay.
It's like a cross between a cleaver and a
Yeah.
chef's knife.
Yeah.
Means 3 good things: slice, dice, chop. Only here at Drake's. What else? Knife. Mortar and pestle for dry spices.
Okay.
I love dry spice, like whole fennel seeds, whole coriander seeds, probably 2 top, whole white peppercorns. Those things crushed, sprinkled over fish, chicken. But I don't do pinches anymore. I like big flavors.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Yes, big.
Yeah,
flavors.
like Texan.
Texan.
If you
You're
weren't
a
doing
big fella.
what you're doing now,
Yeah,
and you could do anything
yeah,
on the planet,
yeah.
what would you be doing?
Leg model.
Okay.
Yeah, want to see?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go on. Show us. Oh, hang on. We can't see shit through there, mate.
Oh, hold on.
You can-
Get closer.
Yeah, look at those cut. Look at that definition. And it's the tattoo. Was that with
Actually,
the wing? With the wings for that tattoo?
Oh.
With the wings for that tattoo there. Hang on,
Hold
do
on.
this again.
No, I gotta know,
Yeah,
sorry.
all right. Come on, take them off.
For my good undies? Sort of.
Whoa! All right. I think we need to carve. They can't even. Your calves are so. I've got the same problem.
Just get on my bicep.
Hang on. Look this way while you're doing it.
Okay, so that's not my good side. So the wings come up here because actually, this is in all seriousness. My grandmother passed away, so it's a memorial tattoo for her, and on the back of it says "Our dear we saw." I liked cycling, and so when I ride, the wings move. So I feel like she's with me. So,
That is cool. All right, I give you credit for that. I got the same problem. I can't get my pants up.
Yeah. I mean,
Like my calves, they're too big.
Yeah. Look, drop your pants, bro.
Look, I have to
I did notice that when we were walking.
pull them down.
Yeah.
I don't know what jocks.
Can I get down now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
All right, a tattoo with purpose. I'm impressed.
So
and
what
it
were we talking
does
about?
look cool.
Why did I take my pants off?
I don't know, but if you weren't doing it, you'd be a leg model.
Leg model. Either that or a dancer.
Yeah, well, I've picked up that.
Yeah. Can do it anyway.
So, what do you wish you'd known? What do you wish you had known when you first started out, which you only know now? And what would be your best advice to someone that's wanting to be an aspiring chef or cook or talent show host? What would be your advice to a Jason Roberts at the age of 15 or 18?
What would be what's your advice?
Yep.
It's such a long, for me, it's such a long-winded answer to it. But if you genuinely love something, go after it no matter what. Don't let people sway you on your thought. I was fortunate because I knew at the age of 4 that I wanted to cook. Everyone around me who knew me that knew that I wanted to cook thought it was a great idea. I mean, I went through a phase, from when you leave school, it's like I couldn't get a job as a cook.
Yeah.
But stick to your guns. Be good to your mum.
And love what you do.
Oh, everything. I think actually here's the piece of advice that I wish I had known. Spend more time with your grandparents.
Yeah, I regret that. That's something I actually
spend more
regret.
time with your grandparents. Later in life I lost all my grandparents have passed away now. And I had an incredible relationship with my grandmothers on both sides. They both cooked. I'm just starting to learn now, really, in the last probably 4 months, about my grandfather on my father's side who went to war. Also took incredible images of the war. Like there's these images that should be in a
Really?
museum. Like I cannot tell you, like the little images. He must have been a photographer.
Yeah.
These little images like this, but there's images of like soldiers and tanks and things I'd never seen before. My dad didn't have a great relationship with his father. I now know why.
Yeah.
My grandfather never really came back.
Yeah.
There's this one image of a German soldier. He's been shot to bits. It's on an image like this, so it's not super graphic. Because I said to my dad, I just went through the photos with my son, with Hunter. And he goes, yeah, there's this one image. I knew exactly what image he was talking about. So, and he told me the story, but his father had told him, that my grandfather who was at war, there was a dogfight. So German plane,
Yeah.
English plane.
The left wing.
Yep.
Yeah.
English plane got shot down.
Yeah.
German plane was shot down from the ground. The German pilot had ejected. German pilot was shot whilst coming to ground. The images of this German soldier, you can see he's been shot to bits. The parachute still hadn't touched the ground. And the picture is that big, graphic enough for you to know that moment. And from that picture, no wonder you didn't have a relationship with your own father for the shit he had seen.
Yeah.
So I think that's my only advice. It actually doesn't matter what thing that you choose to do. Get to know your grandparents. Their wisdom is everything.
Yeah, it's great advice.
Yeah.
Was he a photographer or just?
He
must have.
He must have had a camera of sorts.
Because they're rare. They're quite rare.
But the other thing too, he also used to race motorbikes. So I have all these images of him in the 1940s, late 1940s when he'd come back, maybe 48, 49, South Island, New Zealand. He used to race these motorbikes, and there are pictures of him racing uphill with a cigarette. I'm going to send you pictures, but it is mind blowing how cool he looked doing it.
I would like to. I'd definitely like to see that. I'm for some reason going back into the war history at the moment, and there's some great docos.
1917. Have you seen it?
Don't talk about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's thanks for that.
Yeah.
If there was one thing that you could do that would have an impact on the world, what would it be?
What impact?
Well, you're doing stuff with your charities, so I don't want.
I know. It's hard just to say end world hunger and things like that. I mean, Bob Geldof tried to do that.
But this is our.
Okay, I think I would probably be, teach people kindness. If there was one thing, teaching people how to disconnect. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know how many? I mean, you probably see it all the time. I'm sometimes that person. You're walking down the street and someone's on the phone. I am that person who walks straight into them. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. It does my head in. Walking, not looking. I've seen women walking on the phone, about to cross the road, pram in front of them.
Yep.
Sorry, bang. Oh,
it is a problem, isn't it?
People have, and who was it who predicted technology is going to make people stupid? And it is. Kids don't understand their surroundings. I'm a complete stranger, and you're walking around kids down, and they don't even look at you, not even aware. You could be holding it's just so weird.
Yeah.
There is no connection to what's going around. Personal space is gone. Like, people are either in it or they're well out of it. They've lost the art of engagement.
Yeah, I guess I'm quite conscious of it because I think you can notice it. Especially we employ a lot of young people as well.
Yeah.
And we've got a rule where you can't have mobiles in the business while you're on the shop floor, and I don't know how. I don't think we police that well because every one of them.
Not unless you're doing social #Drake.
Yeah, or TikTok that's making us look favourable. So for me, it's a big thing. I want my girls to be connected, and they need to know this because that's not going away. It'll be more advanced.
It's social suicide if they don't.
Yeah. So
I believe you have to be
and
connected.
I see people that, oh no, they're not allowed to do anything. Well, hang on, if you're not going to let them look at it, like our 5-year-old navigates quite perfectly, understands that if dad's asleep and I put that in front of his face, I buy myself some time before he figures out that I've got his phone. Very clever and good on her.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to wrap it up. We've probably been gone a couple of hours, I think.
Yeah.
Nearly 2.
Yeah.
Nearly 2.
Like,
what's the world record?
I could easily 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, we could talk for hours. Let's just like it for podcast number 27.
So I do have a final question that we're starting to ask everyone.
Yeah, straight. Oh, sorry. What? I feel like I'm filling it out.
Well, no, you can. Okay, if you died and came back as a board game, what board game would you come back as?
Oh wow, wow, you're well thought out. Drakes and ladders.
You can think of do you want to know what I would come back as?
Yeah,
Scrabble, because you don't quite know what you're going to do, and every time it's going to be different.
Yeah, I think you just took mine. You mind read me then. That was weird.
Okay. And James actually, he said he would come back as a board game called Articulate. And it's like a Pictionary, but you have to articulate the word that you get given, so it's similar.
I'm just going to say Monopoly.
Okay.
Yeah, just because there's so many places and so many things, and you can go to jail and you can get out of it, and you can take a chance. It's probably the only board game I've ever really owned.
Well, that's an easy answer. It's Monopoly. Well, it's one of the games that teaches you can risk and get rewarded.
Yeah.
And you can also risk and not get rewarded.
Yeah. What he said, I'm on Monopoly. I'm good for that.
So look, it's been fascinating talking to you.
Yeah.
You did say I want to cook something.
Yeah.
And I was like, it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, oh my God, we're actually speaking here. How are we going to do this? So we definitely need to organise something where we're cooking.
Yeah.
I'm happy to cook because I've been told I'm the best wings cook on the planet.
There's a wings place across the road if you're keen. Are they any good?
No, not like mine.
No.
Like, I take it pretty seriously, and I think I'm the one that's come up with that saying.
All right.
JP's the best wings cook on the planet. I've got a special...
Do you have a technique?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You smoke them?
No, I don't smoke.
Twice cooked?
Yes.
Double? Yeah, that's it.
That gets the crunchy.
Yeah.
And I use a bit of vinegar, apple cider vinegar.
Shake and Drake, baby. Boom. Wings.
They are.
Yeah.
So, in saying all this,
Yeah. Should have a bit of a cook-off.
yeah, okay.
We should just wing it.
Oh my god, that's so bad. It's good. I reckon we should have a wing off.
Yeah.
All right.
I just took that somewhere totally
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe Friday in Murray Bridge.
Oh, don't give away
Hey.
our bloody secrets.
I just need some special things, but that's okay.
It's all right. We're all special.
Now, one last thing.
You know, you said that 3 times now.
Yeah, this is the last.
Yeah.
The spoons there.
Yeah.
We did happen to go through some of your socials and notice that you were playing some form of tune with some spoons.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know what the quality of these spoons are like.
These are.
There were 3 of them,
Yeah.
but you only need 2.
I need 2, bro.
Yeah. So, what exactly can you do with this?
With spoons?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of spooning, bro.
All right. So, do you need to move something to?
No, I just
Do
got
you
to put
need
my
a-
leg up because I need a leg.
Oh, is this another way of showing off these legs?
No, because they're covered in black pants. Just cover my crotch. Oh, King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. Called for the light in the middle of the night to go to the WC. Round came the Denny door, the candle took a flick. Old King Cole found down the hole and came up smothered in, you know.
Well, there you have it, old King Cole. Old King Cole with the spoon. So there you have it. I do like to thank you for coming here and giving us your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you for bringing him.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic. I love talking about food and you hearing your passion, inspiration from food. It actually makes you feel so much better about what we're doing as a business and what, you know, we obviously sell things that's not good for everyone, but that's what the customer wants. But we really do want to move forward.
No, you're based on family, communication, the table.
Totally.
And that's
it
why
all
we get on.
sits home with what we do.
Yeah.
And in saying that, it'd be great to do something with you in the future.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what that would be, but
Because that's easier than doing it in the past. Unless you have a DeLorean.
Well,
You have a DeLorean?
we've done. Yeah, I got a friend with a DeLorean.
We could totally go back.
Yeah, well, we have.
Our
been-
younger versions. We should do a younger version of ourselves cooking together. We could totally do that. Let's get the DeLorean. I got an idea for a show. Let's do it.
Done.
Done.
I've actually recently done this.
You went back in time?
Yeah.
How'd it go? Got any pictures?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Look. Do you want to see this?
For reals.
I've got it. All right. So that's it. I will show him. But I've been
After
told
this.
to wrap it up. So thanks very much for coming, James. Podcast number 4.
Jason.
What did I say, James?
James.
Jason.
And take 2.
You know what? Just stop that bit. Can we end it without that part?
Good one, Roger.
I get that all the time. So there you have it. Podcast number 4. Jason,
Yeah.
thank you very much. We're
Done.
going to put the details for the rides and your charity stuff
Yep,
in
sweet.
the comments somewhere if we can do that.
Yep.
And we will put a bespoke or is it Rio Vista? We'll
Yeah.
put that in there as well.
Yep.
You know, we should have a look at.
Mate,
getting
I've got
this
some
sorted.
people downstairs putting stuff on your shelves now. We could,
I
thought I would
I
distract
did
you.
notice those.
2 hours of distraction, mate. We got placards. We got people doing tastings down there. We are rolling.
All right. Okay. Thank you.